right. Well, look, let's get started. All right. So, welcome everyone. We'll start again. My name's Alan Perry. I'm the Australian and New Zealand Director of CCUSA. So, welcome to our Work Adventures Canada Resort Zoom chat. I'm excited to have Adam joining us from Panorama here. Unfortunately, for those that just joined us, we are having some camera technical difficulties, but that is Adam in the picture right there. So that's all good. Welcome, Adam.
Thank you.
How was this past season? Did it just finish? I heard you say.
Yeah, we wrapped it up this Easter weekend. So we actually had our employee end of season event on Monday. So we're able to have a bit of a sit down dinner or lunch with everybody, and share a couple of drinks, share some stories, and do a final handful of runs on our show off run just to ourselves with nobody else on it. So it was good to put a cap on the season like that.
That's awesome. I'm assuming there's quite a bit of snow still on the ground up there.
Yeah, there certainly is. Yeah, we had a good season snow-wise. So had a lot right at the start, and then temperature stayed a little bit cooler, and but it's kind of set us up for some awesome spring skiing this last kind of month.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, look, Adam, tell us a little bit about yourself, your role there, and tell us a bit about Panorama for those that don't know.
Yeah, so I'm as you said, Adam Hopper. I'm the Director of Employee Experience here at the resort. Like many of you, I started my time in Canada doing the overseas thing. I'm originally from Australia, from the Gold Coast, and a couple of my friends decided to drag me across the world and go snowboarding in a little place called Whistler that you may have heard about. But it really got the ski industry bug into me, and I really enjoyed the industry, and thought, you know what, this might be an industry for me. Combined with that, I also met a Canadian girl in Whistler, and that girl is now been my wife for, she's going to kill me because I don't know this, but I think it's 21 years now that we've been married. So we kind of wanted to get a little bit settled down, and didn't necessarily want to go back to Whistler. And at the time, Panorama was owned by the same company as Whistler, so came here, and yeah, we just loved it, so just never left. The reason why we didn't leave is just the location. We're about 2.5 hours away from Calgary, like on a good road day. And it's really centrally located to a lot of places. A lot of ski hills around here, the area. So about an hour and a half away from Banff, Sunshine, Lake Louise, and 2 to 3 hours away from kind of places like Revelstoke and Fernie, and some others that are a little bit further away, like Whitewater. But huge big lake as well in the area, in the town of Invermere, which is about 18 kilometers away from the resort, which is where most of our employees live through the course of the year. And in summer, I think we've got about 10 golf courses within about a 20-minute drive. So we've got that as well. And then there's plenty of, hiking, mountain biking, cross country. And then obviously the resort has downhill mountain biking in the summer as well. So really just, it's one of those, crazy places that just seems to have it all. And it's awesome. So, yeah.
Awesome. No, it sounds great. And for those people, what I might do is, let me see if I can just share my screen here, just to sort of show everyone a little bit about. Hopefully you can see that. So obviously Panorama is right here. There's sort of, to give everyone a little bit of an idea in terms of where you sit there and where Canada is at the moment. And all of this information, as I mentioned, is up on the website link that I did send you, as well as a recording of this. We'll put this up afterwards, but there's details about the employer and everything else that's there, as well as trail maps and a really cool little video, which I was going to see if we could play, but we might sort of save that and see if we've got time at the end to drop that one in. So that'll be there as well. So all good. Excellent. Now, I guess the other one is, now that we know a little bit about Panorama and how you got there, Adam, tell us a bit about the winter, what sort of the season, what jobs you have available, and tell us a bit about why folks should all come and work at Panorama.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the whole world's still, dealing with the after effects, or still the effects of COVID. So, like most, countries, we've had restrictions in place here, and we've just been diligent and abiding by those restrictions, and making sure that we're, keeping the business going, keeping people employed, and keep on rolling. Uh, I think what we've learned in these last 2 years is how to adapt, how to pivot, and adjust to those restrictions. Not only with restrictions coming into place, but when they start peeling those restrictions back as well, and it's almost like opening up the floodgates, and people are just starting to get back to what life was kind of more so like before the pandemic hit us. So right now, the resort, we finished the season with, basically everything is back to normal, which is why we were able to do that staff event. So, and even to a point where, we did have passports required at restaurants up until about April 8th, but, those are all gone now. And, it's just keep on, the momentum's going right now, and, going into summer, just keeping things rolling. So as for what positions we have available, we have lots of positions available. We actually operate basically everything here at the resort. So, everything that's on the mountain, but we've also got retail, rentals. We've got food and beverage. We run the majority of all of our outlets out here. You've got everything that in lodging. So we do operate the accommodation here on behalf of owners as well as our own, and then you've got things that are in around the resort as well, to make the resort animated. So things like activities, events. We've got racing and competition as well. So and as I mentioned at the start, there mountain operations. So things like lift operations. And some more specific roles like ski patrol and our ski school as well. So ski and snowboard instructors as well.
So a quick question with your ski and snowboard instructors, because we always do get questions from quite a few folks here going, hey, can I go over to be a ski instructor or a snowboard instructor? What sort of some of the requirements of Panorama that you look for to sort of fill those roles?
Yeah, I mean, if qualifications, obviously, being through instructor courses is a good place to start. Obviously, we kind of look at those first and foremost, but we do run our own courses at the start of the season. So for people that are looking to get into that ski instructing kind of field, then obviously you need to be a good skier or a snowboarder. The majority of our positions that we have available are on the ski side. The boarding positions are a little bit more scarce, but it doesn't mean that we don't have them. But anybody with intermediate or better ski level, and then interestingly enough, experience dealing with children. The majority of our skiing lessons are dealing with kids anywhere from the age of 2-3 years old up to the age of 16, 17. So if you've got any kind of childcare experience or anything like that, or camps. Obviously, you guys work with camps as well, so having that experience, dealing with youth is also a good, a good checklist on the resume to say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we've got quite a few participants already signed up that are heading off to summer camp, actually heading off in the next sort of, 4 to 6 weeks. We'll do a summer and then plan to head up and come work for you, hopefully. So that would be great. So they'll bring lots of enthusiasm and lots of experience. So that's great. With the sort of positions, when do they sort of start for winter? So, what time frame in sort of November or December are you looking at having folks come and join you?
Yeah, so usually the majority of our positions kind of will start between the 27th of November and December 5th. That's not to say that we don't have anything like through September to November. Through September to November, it's usually our off-season roles. It's back of house type roles. It's they're the people that are we call them like almost like our stagehands. They're the ones that are getting the resort ready to go. It's going in and making sure that rooms are deep clean for our guests. Making sure you're getting into the nitty gritty places of the hotel rooms and making sure everything's going there. We've also got food and beverage roles that start in November as well. We do have a pretty comprehensive race training program, which kicks off in November. And then some positions like grounds as well. They go through the off season as well. And then some of our lift operator positions start early November as well. So yeah, a variety in the off season, but once that November kind of 27th to December 5th timeline comes in, that's when really we see our huge influx of employees. That's when we really come from our off-season slumber and things really start to get buzzing around here.
Definitely. So when does typically the snow start to hit the ground first up? Early November or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Easy. Yeah. I mean, we'll see snow on the top of I mean, really I've seen snow like at the top of the hills, like in July and August, and you're like, really? Like,
In the middle of summer.
you're not supposed to be here for a few months. So, but it really comes around in earnest, probably, mid October. That's when our snowmakers start up. So they start up, and that's when the temperatures are cold enough where the snow, if it comes, it'll start staying on the ground, and then all through November, we'll see snowfall as well. But our target, usually we try and target to have people or races, for race training on the snow. That probably for this year, probably around the 14th of November is probably the target date. So that'll give you an idea of like the kind of temperatures that we see around that time.
Yeah, definitely. Now, pardon me. A little bit, a couple quick things about jobs and what a typical day would be like. But before we jump in, tell us a little bit about the housing. So you mentioned before, your employees have housing. Is it on site? Is it down the mountain a little bit? How would they get to work? And then what would a typical day at work be like, I guess, for indoor and outdoor, if you can give us a rough example?
Yeah, so I mean, we have housing up on the hill. So we have enough for about a third of our employees to go into our specific staff housing. That's roughly about 136 people. And then we work with a hotel group this winter that have a couple of hotels. One's called Copper Point Resort. The other one's called Vermeer Inn, which are actually operated by the same company. And they had rooms available as well. And then yeah, we have a number of homeowners that it's kind of funny that it works out really well with us, but Invermere itself is really a summer town. It's what we call in Canada cottage country for those people that live in Calgary. So a lot of people have second places out here, and the population swells probably by about 3 or 4 times in summer, and that allows people to find accommodation in Invermere, which is 18 kilometers away, in their own private rentals. And we've built up a lot of good faith with those people, and we post all of that private accommodation on town so people can organize their own accommodation. So
Definitely. Yeah, it doesn't look that far away looking at the map. And then how would they get to work from if they were sort of working, living down that way in town?
yeah, so we run a free shuttle. So it runs probably about does about 16 to 18 loops over the course of the day. The first shuttle gets up here for 7:45 in the morning, and then the last shuttle down to town leaves here at about 20 after 10. So, and then obviously there's a bunch of times in between there as well. So yeah, so it's a lot of exposure for travel time. We don't really see a lot of people, not finding a way up here. And then obviously there's also people, we hire Canadians as well, so a lot of those come out with their own vehicles, and obviously people carpool and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, I always make the comment whenever and we send anyone overseas, your new best friend is the local with the car. So that's always good that you work with. So, all right.
Yeah.
So we got our accommodation. With food. It sort of does the resort include sort of discounts for food for employees on the mountain if they're working during the day, or?
Yeah, we do a 20% discount on all of our all of our outlets as well, and and that's all on basically on the food items. Obviously, unfortunately, it's illegal to give discounts on alcoholic beverages. So, the bar is always running specialty drinks and all that kind of stuff as well. But yeah, we do a 20% discount on everything. We operate about 5 different outlets here, so everything from grab and go to sit down dining to, and we've got the pub, the tea bar and grill, which is kind of like a high energy après bar. Then we've got the Alto kitchen and bar, which is newly renovated, 2 years young now, which is features a Forno oven. But on top of the discounts, we also try and do staff events at least once a month. We do, and those are free for all employees, varying from staff breakfasts to barbecues to celebratory dinners after Christmas and New Year's. But can't guarantee anything because COVID keeps rearing its ugly head. But
Yep.
as long as the government permits us, we try and get at least one of those done once a month for everybody.
Oh, awesome. So tell me a little bit about, like, if we've got people on here that are watching, they're like, you know what, I want to go and work. I want to get a job on the mountain, whether it be a lift operator or maybe ticket checker, maybe working in one of the restaurants halfway up the hill, that kind of stuff. Run us through what a typical day might be. What time do you start? What are your hours? When do you get breaks? I know there's a lot of people that like to hit the powder and get in their ski time during their breaks. So tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, I'll start with the lift attendant position. So a basic day starts earlier than others, because obviously you got to get the lifts up and running. So basically, it's meeting at the mountain operations building at about probably around 7:45 in the morning, 8 o'clock. It's getting all your gear on, making sure everything's set, ready to go. Name badges on. You got your helmet on, all that kind of stuff. You're getting your lift assignments for the day. For some of those lift attendants, it's strapping on the board or your skis, and it's taking one or two lifts, potentially three, to get up to your lift, and it's making sure those your on and off ramps for your skiers, making sure those are ready to go. There's no ice buildup or anything like that, and making sure everything's going to be safe for the guests, because being in this environment, we can't stress safety enough for not only our guests, but obviously all of our employees as well. And then it's also setting up mazes, making sure that people are, it's not just a gong show out there, but making sure people have direction of how they funnel into the lift. And then it's really what we call is being fit for work, uh you know putting the smile on the face, and having that interaction with our guests. It's a position that it's being interactive with our guests. It's saying hello, asking how their day goes, which runs are you doing, and having that interaction, because we feel that for us, that's a differentiator. Every ski place has a lift, every place has their own terrain, but it's having that interaction with our guests, and having those touch points. That's where I think that's for us, that's where our differentiator is. And as the course over the course of the day, you go through the day, if able to, our lift department tries to enable our supervisor and our team leads try and let our lift attendants get out there and get a lap or two in during the course of the day. A lot of lifties will, they'll have lunch in the lift shack, and maybe spend half an hour doing a couple of laps as well. So but yeah, that's basically that goes through the course of the day. As the lift comes to, or the day comes to, or shift comes to an end, it's making sure that we're making sure that the last guest is coming off, and again, can't stress safety enough, and making sure everybody's safely off the lift. And then a lot of the people, particularly at the top of the ski hill, when you get up to the summit lift and the champagne lift, it's helping our patrol team do what we call sweep. And that's making sure that you're going down designated runs, and hearing out for potentially any kind of injured people that or injured skiers that may be in distress, and making sure that the guests and the employees that have enjoyed the ski, making sure that they get back to their accommodation, and their enjoyment of the day continues. So that's a basic.
Yeah. Sorry, what time do the sort of runs normally end? Sort of like 4 in the afternoon, or?
Yeah.
Yep.
It runs at 4, like lifts shut at 4. The summit shuts at 3:30, just because there's a larger amount of train that you got to close up there. And patrol is really the main leaders of in making sure that they're directing the sweep there. But 4 o'clock for kind of champagne and the lower lifts, and usually your day is done by about 4:15 4:30.
Gotcha. Perfect. Now, what about indoors? Obviously, you've got your retail, your to go and rent your ski equipment in rentals, that type of stuff. Is it a similar sort of work time that they'd be looking at, sort of like an 8 to 4, 8 to 5 type of scenario?
Yeah, for retail, definitely, like retail, rental, front of house food and beverage operations in our Great Hall. Yeah, they would pretty much will be very similar to those. Uh, Probably, when you start looking at food and beverage, things definitely get a little bit different there when you're looking at, servers, our culinary team, whether it's pizza cooks, dishwashers, all that kind of stuff. For some of those positions, we definitely have those afternoon shifts that start. An afternoon shift will start around 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. for the keeners out there that want to get, the most days on the hill that they want to get, a lot of the mornings are spent, on the hill, getting laps in, which they're, happy to see people and staff getting out there, because those experiences, your experiences out there out in the hill, you can share those experiences with our guests. But again, getting out there, getting ready for a 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock start, you're getting your uniform on, you're heading upstairs, for our culinary team, you're starting to get your station ready, you're prepping food, and then obviously getting ready for that après ski kind of area as well, serving as well, it's getting, your designated areas, and then, it's getting on the floor there, and taking orders in, and continue on the festivities during the day. So, and then, for the most part, for our culinary team, and the majority of our servers, like in Alto, they're finishing up things around 10 o'clock in the evening, and then getting ready to getting the restaurant ready for breakfast service. And then in the tea bar, that's the nightlife, the tea bar, serving and bartending, that can carry on until kind of like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. So with a day, finishing around then.
So it certainly sounds like it's a busy day, but there's plenty to do if, for your nights or your mornings off. I know we've had a bunch go and work the past couple of winters with you, and I certainly have, they've always said that they've never been bored or found, they're lacking on things to do and go out and hang out. So it definitely sounds like, you've got a lot that you can fit in there. So yeah, so definitely sounds great. In terms of, I guess, the positions, what are you looking at sort of, I know you've just finished the winter, so obviously, I know that you are sort of, you always, like all resorts, you really look at your pay. Sort of what's sort of the hours that someone could expect to be doing, and then maybe a pay gap, or a pay range, I should say, not a gap.
Yeah, hours, it's really dependent on those positions. We have some of those positions that we have are really more dependent on business volume than just set hours. Your lift attendants, the lifts have got to turn, whether it's one person on the hill or if there's 4,000. So those hours are a little bit more steady. You're probably looking at 35 to 40 hours a week for those positions. In those, food and beverage is probably the biggest kind of swing with business volume. That said, you're probably looking at, around at the low end, probably around 25 to 30 hours over a kind of a 2 to 3 week period in January. But more, when we're in the high business volumes, yes, you're probably looking at like that 32 to 40 hours a week. So it's interesting because some people come over here and they want to work that 35 to 40 hours, and then we got some people that are, hey, I've saved up enough money, I've got enough, like I don't mind taking an extra few days off here, and as long as we're able to, we're happy to facilitate that, so we can work with that. But that'll give you a rough idea of what the hours are. As for wages, I think I mentioned through email to Ruth, we're currently actually going through another transition here. We're going through another minimum wage increase, but realistically, like I can say comfortably here, you're probably looking at kind of between 15.65 to 16.50 an hour to start. Without kind of going into any kind of fine details here on what those roles would be. Obviously, some of our more skilled positions, like our snow school instructors and ski patrol, those kind of things, they're obviously going to be a little bit higher than those.
Yep, perfect. Oh, good. So I guess, I guess you kind of alluded in some of the conversation that we've already had. what type of people are you looking for? Like, we've got a stack of Aussies and Kiwis sitting on, listening in and zooming in, listening in through our Facebook live stream. Tell us a bit about what do you look, what are some of the key things? So when they are having an interview with you, what are some of the key components that you look for to decide whether if someone's going to be right for Panorama or not?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a bit of a saying around here is that, you can put up hotels, you can put in lifts, you can do, add on extra activity like activities and all that kind of stuff. But, at the end of the day, the people are really what brings the resort to life, and it's their energy that, flows on to the people and our guests. So, we're looking for enthusiastic people. We're looking for positive people. We're looking for people that are willing to go that extra mile. You can call it extra mile, we call it above and beyond here, but it's taking that that opportunity to make an ordinary moment for a guest, and giving it a nice touch, and making it a memory that somebody can take away. Because at the end of the day, when you go on vacation, as we all know, that yeah, you can take photos and all that kind of stuff, but it's really the stories that you tell, and then it's the stories that you can tell your friends and family when you get home. And that's that we're in the business of experiences, really. So yeah, it's positive, outgoing, enthusiastic people that want to give the best for our guests and even our other employees, because we're all patrons here too. We get to use all the facilities. So
Definitely. Sounds good. All right. So I guess the next step I want to sort of jump into is just to let people know how to go about the process of applying, and a little bit about the IC visa as well. So it's pretty easy. I did put the link up there in the chat. So if you go to ccusa.com.au, click on that big apply button, and then you create an account to sign up for Work Adventures Canada, and then you choose the resort program. And then from there, it's a basic application that we ask you to pop up, your resume. There's terms and conditions there. There are fees to do our program, which is also outlined in the link that I put in there for the resort program. So those costs are there to cover all the administration and the support that we're going to give you, not only through talks like this, but setting up our virtual job fairs with Adam at Panorama, the support we're going to give you to sort of help you through the IEC process, which isn't always the easiest thing to do. And then ongoing support while you're in Canada if you need it, and then assistance with, advice for jobs. Once you hit the ground, we'll give you information about bank accounts, opening, getting your tax file number, and all the information that you're going to need once you arrive, just to get yourself set up and ready to work. So it's, there's quite a bit to do, but you've got that personal touch and that personal support from CCUSA in Australia and New Zealand to help you through that. So once you've done your application, you're paying an application fee. We'll then hook you up with an interview with CCUSA. This is where we'll have a chat with you. We'll find out what your preferences are, what areas that you're looking at wanting to have an interview with, and what positions you'd like to go into. We compile all of that, and then we put that into like a portfolio for you, and we give that to Adam. And we then book you in for one of those interviews slots that we've got coming up on the 5th of May, 4th of May for Adam in Canada there. And so we'll get you hooked in for one of those, which is a great opportunity. And it'll be done once again through Zoom, similar platform to what we're here, but we'll have breakout rooms where you'll be able to go one-on-one with Adam and have an interview and go and have a nice chat to him about the positions that are available. As Adam goes through, anyone who's successful, they'll be provided with a letter of offer, obviously contingent on making sure that your IEC visa has come through. And I'm really excited. We've had, compared to last year, the IEC visa process is going a lot faster and a lot smoother this year. Last year, there was a requirement of a number of requirements set in stone that you had to have before you could apply for the IEC. It's not like that now. So it's great. We've got documentation. We put everything together to really help you through the IEC visa process. So we're going to walk you through that process as well. You don't have to have the IEC before you have an interview with Adam. So that's fine, but certainly jumping in, signing up will get you locked in, creating that profile. Hopefully you'll be invited into the IEC pool before you have your interview with Adam. And then from there, there'll be a number of elements that you'll need to do. You've got to get your biometrics done. For those that are not in Sydney, Melbourne, or Perth, please understand you are going to need to fly to get your biometrics done to one of those 3 cities. So you will have to fly and get your biometrics done, but you don't have to send your passport off anywhere. You don't need to meet with the Canadian consulate. It's all pretty much, except for the biometrics, it's all done online, and we'll help you through what other additional documentation that you'll need. There's specific police checks, as well as a number of other items that you'll need to get put through depending on what state you're in. And we'll help you through all of those stages as well. Once you are on the program, you get a letter of offer from Panorama. I know that Adam and his team will then start looking at, slotting you in. I know a lot of folks have expressed that they'd like to get in for employee housing. And I know that's a great thing. We love working with Panorama. And Adam, you really do look after all of our participants. You kind of, it must be that Aussie in you from the Gold Coast. You bring him in as part of the family. And you really want to make sure that they're having an amazing experience as well.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
It's don't tell anybody here though.
No, absolutely not. So once that's done, we'll then help you. There are some other requirements. The IEC visa is a 2-year work visa. Part of the requirements is when you do go into Canada, you will need to show that you've got insurance to cover your whole 2 years of your visa. So immigration will ask for that proof. So we do offer insurance, or you do have the option to go out and purchase your own insurance to do that. But obviously, if you only take out, say, for example, 1-year insurance, immigration will only give you a 1-year work visa, and you normally can't extend it from there. So we do recommend you sort of take the 2 years if you're feeling the need that, hey, you know what, I definitely am going to go over. I'm going to do a winter season at Panorama, and then, the world's your oyster on the IEC visa. It's great. It allows you to stay on, maybe do a summer. You can go travel. You can go to Vancouver. You can go to Toronto. You can work in a variety of different places. We also do summer camp placements in Canada. So if you love the winter there and you want to go and experience a summer camp in Canada, you can have that opportunity as well, or shoot down to the US and we can help you accommodate on that one. And then you can head back to Panorama for winter 2023. So there's lots of possibilities on the visa. It's a great opportunity. We tend to find that once most Australians and New Zealanders, once we get traveling and we get the other side of the world, we just don't want to come home. There's so many things that are a lot closer than where we are right now. So it's a great opportunity. Any other suggestions as an expat, I guess, Adam, about sort of working and traveling for your time on the IEC?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of people that do that, and they actually just use us almost like as a home base, particularly during our shoulder seasons. There's a lot of obviously huge festivals that happen down in particularly down in the States. Obviously, we've got them down in Canada as well, but people will duck off down to Burning Man, Coachella, Coachella. I don't know how you say it, but we've got lots of people that make the most of it. Myself, what I end up doing is that I end up going down to LA, spending some time, down in LA around Redondo Beach, and spent some time down there, ducked out to Sin City, Vegas, because it's not too far away, and mostly flights once you get over to the States and in Canada, like coming back and forth, are pretty reasonable. So heading down to Vegas for a weekend is something that my wife and I try and get to do. So we do that every now and
we
then.
have a lot of, I heard of a lot of our folks that headed down to Vegas for a couple of weekends. So the flights are super cheap, so they loved it. So
there's lots of stuff like that to do, and then there's just people just wanting to explore Canada as well. And the good thing is that you can go spend some of your hard-earned cash there, and then that you've got a job to come back to, or you can just some people just decide that they're going to try a different resort or a different place. That's really up to the people, and what they want to experience.
Definitely, definitely. Well, look, if anyone, hopefully the folks that are all on here, I know that I've seen a number of names of folks that are already signed up and ready to go and have interviews. But look, certainly the interview slots with Adam are filling up fast. So if you are keen, please do jump on and fire away on your application form. Get everything sorted. That would be, what I would definitely recommend, you jumping on and getting everything done as quickly as you can. Then that will then enable us to then get you locked in for one of those interview appointments on the 5th of May, Australia, New Zealand time. What I might do is, if anyone has questions, feel free, please, to unmute yourself, jump on and fire away with some questions from Adam. Before you do that, I am going to just stop the recording and the live stream. And so then we can go with questions from there.